At the end of this video, you should be able to solve the transportation problem with the help of stepping stone method. Now here is the problem statement. There are three factories located at three different locations. So F1, F2 and F3 are the three factories, and they are supplying two products to the five retail agencies. So A1, A2, A3, A4 and A5 are the retail agencies to which these factories are supplying the product. The cost of unit transportation is given in the following matrix. So this 1 represents the cost of transporting one product from F1 to A1. Likewise, the 16 represent the cost of transporting one product from F2 to A3. Determine the total transportation cost with the help of stepping stone method. We have been asked to determine the total transportation cost with the help of stepping stone method. Now before we actually solve the problem, we need to understand few more things. So this 50, 100 and 150 are the capacity, or you can say the supply of all these three factories. Similarly, there is a demand or requirement from each of the destination retail agencies. So A1 is having the demand of 100, A2 is having the demand of 70, A3 is having the demand of 50, A4 is having the demand of 40 and A5 is the demand of 40. Now we need to more understand that the total supply is 50, 100 and 150, which is equal to 300, and the total requirement is also equal to 300. So this becomes an balanced transportation problem. If these two figures are not matching with each other, then it becomes an unbalanced transportation problem and we have to take a different approach. Now before we solve this problem with the help of stepping stone method, we need to acquire the basic feasible solution. So this problem have two steps. The first step is to get the basic feasible solution. Now this basic feasible solution can be obtained with the help of either northwest corner method, least cost method or penalty cost method. What is basic feasible solution? So basic feasible solution is the solution which satisfies all the demand constraint and supply constraint. Once we are ready with the basic feasible solution, we have to perform the optimality test, and that can be performed with the help of stepping stone method or modified distribution method. As we have been told in this problem to make the use of this stepping stone method, so we will make the use of this stepping stone method. For getting the basic feasible solution, we will use the least cost method. You can make use of any of these three methods, that is northwest corner method, least cost method or penalty cost method, but it is recommended that make the use of either least cost method or penalty cost method, because that will take you to the nearest optimum. So let us get the basic feasible solution with the help of this least cost method, for which I have reproduced this matrix as given in the problem, and the cost of unit transportation I have written in the corner so that we can use the space for making the allocation. So out of this complete matrix, now I have to find out the cell having the minimum cost. So I have three cells, 1, 1 and 1, with having value of least cost as 1. So this cell F1A1 is having the unit transportation cost of 1. So cell F2 and A5 is the having unit transportation cost of 1, and this F3A3 is the having the unit transportation cost of 1. Now I have to select the one which is having the least cost. So there is a tie between these three. Whenever there is a tie, we have to select among these one which can make maximum allocations. So here I can allocate 50 number of units because the supply is of 50, though the requirement is of 100. So I can make allocations of 50 over here, I can make allocations of 40 over here, and I can make allocations of 50 over here. So I have to select between these two, and I will arbitrarily select this cell for making the allocations. and I can make the maximum allocation as 50 over here. So making 50 allocations over here, so this particular supply will be exhausted and this particular demand will be reduced to 50, and I will make cross in all these cells because the total supply has been exhausted and I cannot make any allocations in these cells now. Now out of this remaining matrix, the minimum cost is again this cell and this cell, and in this F3A3 I can make the 50 allocations. So I will select this cell to make the 50 allocations. So making 50 allocations over here, and this particular demand is completely fulfilled, so making 0 over here, and I need to make a cross over here because this total demand is fulfilled. This particular supply will be now reduced to 100. Now out of these remaining cells, this is the one which is having the least cost, and I can supply or I can allocate 40 number of units over here. So making 40 allocations over here, so this particular requirement will be fulfilled, demand will be fulfilled, and making cross over here, and this particular supply will be reduced to 60. Now out of all this remaining cell, the minimum cost value is this 12. Here the supply is of 60 and the demand is of 70. So I can make only allocations of 60 unit over here. So making the allocations of 60 unit over here, so this particular supply will be completely exhausted and there will be still balance of 10 as a requirement, and I need to make cross in these cells as the supply is exhausted. Now out of these 3 remaining cells, the smallest value is having this cell of 14 unit transportation cost, and I can allocate 50 number of units over here, and this particular requirement will be reduced to 0, and this will be, there will be a balance of 50 units from the supply side. Now we don't have much of the choices over here, and I will allocate 10 units over here and 40 units over here. So this will be 10 units, so this will be reduced to 0, and here I will allocate 40 units, this will be reduced to 0, and this particular supply will be completely exhausted. And here we have made all the allocations. I have reproduced this solution that we have got from the least cost method in a fresh table. Now we have to see that whether this satisfies all the conditions, and also we will evaluate the transportation cost. So in order to a solution to be a feasible solution, it should satisfy all the row constraint and all the column constraint. So here there are 50 allocations and supply is also of 50. Here there are 60 allocations in this row, 60 plus 40 will give me 100, so it is matching with this supply. The allocations 50, 10, 50, 40, if summed together, are matching with the supply of 150. Same thing for the demands. So the demand of 50 plus 50 is being fulfilled and the total demand was 100. So 60 plus 10, it is fulfilling the demand of 70. So 50 is matching with this 50, 40 is matching with this 40, and this 40 is equal to this 40. So we can say that this particular solution is feasible solution. Also, now we want to check whether this is the optimum solution or not. And if it is not an optimum solution, then there will be some reduction in cost possible. But before that, let us try to evaluate the transportation cost for the current solution. The transportation cost for the current solution is given by this particular unit transportation cost into number of allocations, and if we add all these allocations into number of unit cost, that will give me a complete transportation cost of 2810. Now we know that it is a feasible solution, but to check whether it is the basic feasible solution, we have to do certain calculations. The solution is said to be a basic feasible solution if it is a feasible solution and number of allocations are equal to m plus n minus 1. So what is m? M is number of rows, n is number of columns, and number of allocations are the cells which are occupied. So we have number of allocations as 7, and if we count m plus n minus 1, that also comes to be 7. So we can definitely say that this is the basic feasible solution. Now we have to apply the stepping stone method. Remember that if this particular thing is not matching, that is number of allocations are not equal to m plus n minus 1, you cannot directly apply the stepping stone method, and that solution is said to be degenerated, and we have to take a different approach to solve that kind of a problem. But here we are getting a basic feasible solution, and so we can apply the stepping stone method and moving to the stepping stone method. Now to make the things more clear, what I have did, I have placed certain stones in the place of this allocation. So this is for our understanding that the stones represents the certain allocation. We are interested in finding if I make one allocation in this empty cell, whether it will increase the total transportation cost or it will decrease the transportation cost. If it is going to decrease the transportation cost, I will allocate certain units over here, and if it is going to increase the transportation cost, then I will not do that. To evaluate that, we have to find out the quantity called as a change in cost, and to do so we have to find out all the empty cells. So here are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8 empty cells. So I have recorded all these 8 empty cells over here. In order to evaluate this change in cost term, we have to create certain loops, and how to create that certain loops we will see now. The rule for making loop is you have to start with the empty cell and you have to go to a next stone. Now if I start from this empty cell and if I go to this stone, then I will change my direction and I will go to the next stone, and then I will change my direction and then I will go to the next stone, and you can see that I am going to the original cell. Now let me draw this loop. So if I start from this empty cell, I will go to this stone, change the direction, again change the direction, again change the direction, and I will back to the original cell. Now you must be wondering that why didn't I change my direction at this point? So if I change my direction at this point, I will have this stone, but if I change the direction at this point, I don't have any stone to go for, and I may not be returned to the original cell. But with this arrangement, I can complete this particular loop, and I am interested in this loop. Now once I am ready with the loop, next thing is that to allocate certain values. So I will allocate +1 at this point for this empty cell at this corner. I will allocate -1 to the next corner. I will allocate +1 to the next corner, and I will allocate -1 to the next corner. So as there are 4 corners, there will be 2 plus signs and 2 minus signs. Now what is the logic behind this plus and minus? So if you wish to add one allocation at this point, you have to remove one allocation from this corner, you have to add one allocation at this corner, and you have to remove one allocation from this corner. That is why we have given this particular thing. Now what is the change in cost that we have to evaluate? So this +1 is associated with this 9 unit transportation cost, so I have written it as plus 9. This minus 1 is associated with this 33 unit transportation cost, so I have written it as minus 33. This plus 1 is associated with this 14 unit transportation cost, so I have written it as plus 14, and this minus 1 is associated with this 1 unit transportation cost, so I have written it as minus 1. So you can see that plus 9 minus 33 plus 14 minus 1, which gives me the value of minus 11. So if I allocate one product at this empty cell, it will reduce my total transportation cost by 11 unit. Now it's time to make the loop for the second empty cell. So I will start from this empty cell and I will stop at this corner stone. Again I will change the direction. I will stop at this cornerstone. Again I will change the direction. I will stop at this cornerstone, and here the loop is completed. Now it is the time to allocate the values. So plus 1, minus 1, plus 1 and minus 1. So it is plus 13, minus 1, plus 14 and minus 1, and that gives me the value of 25. So meaning is that if you allocate 1 unit at this empty cell, the total transportation cost will increase by 25. Consider this third empty cell, and loop will be given by this combination. So plus 36 minus 23 plus 14 minus 1, and that will give the value of 26. For this next empty cell, the loop will be like this. So if you are not getting a square loop, you can create loop something like this, and here the values will be plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1, plus 1 and minus 1. Only one thing you have to remember is that at every corner there should be one stone. So this becomes plus 51, minus 1, plus 12, minus 33, plus 14 and minus 1, and that gives me the value of 42. Looking at this empty cell, so you will get a very small loop like this, and it will give a value of plus 24, minus 12, plus 33, minus 14, and that will give the value of 31. For this cell, again there will be a very small loop like this, and it will have values of plus 16, minus 1, plus 33, minus 12, and that is equal to 36. For next cell, loop will be like this. So plus 20, minus 23, plus 33, minus 12, and the value is 18. For the last cell, loop will be like this, and it will give you a value of plus 26, minus 33, plus 12, minus 1, and that gives the change of cost as 4. You can notice here that we got only one negative value, that is minus 11, and which means that at this 1 2 cell, if I allocate 1 unit, the total transportation cost will be reduced by 11 units, and we are interested in this cell. Now I have replaced the stones with the original allocation, and we have this loop for this particular cell in which we are interested. So now we want to make allocations at this cell. So I am representing another table as an empty table. So if I want to make one allocation over here, right, I will have to reduce one allocation from this point so as to balance the table, and I need to add one allocation at this point, so this will become 51, and I will reduce one allocation from this point, so this will become 9, and this 60 40 50 40 will not get hampered because they are not part of this loop. So if I put all these values, let me see whether it satisfies all constraint. So this 49 plus 1 is equal to this 50, 60 plus 40, 100, 51 plus 9 plus 50 plus 40 is equal to 150. So all the row constraints are satisfied. 49 plus 51, 100, 1 plus 60 plus 9 is giving value of 70, 50 is equal to 50, 40 is equal to 40, and 40 is equal to 40. So in this way I can allocate something to this cell. Now how much I should allocate, or rather how much I can allocate to this cell is the question, and that answer is given by this minus sign. Now look closely at these two cells having -1 sign and select one cell which is having the minimum number of allocations. So here we have 10 number of allocations, so meaning is that you can allocate 10 number of units at this location without violating the non-negativity constraint. So I will allocate 10 units over here. This will be 40 units as there is a minus sign. It will be increased to 60, and at this point there will not be allocation. And let us check the constraint one more time. 40 plus 10, 50 is equal to 100. 60, 50, 40 is giving me the value of 150. 40 plus 60, 100. 10 plus 60, 70, and these are 50, 40 and 40. So I am ready with these new allocations, and let us now see whether it reduces the cost or not. Now calculate the total transportation cost for this combination. So it is given by this 40 into 1 plus 10 into 9 plus 12 into 60 plus 1 into 60 plus 14 into 60 plus 1 into 50 plus 23 into 40, and that gives me the value of 2700. If you remember that we earlier got this value before this iteration as 2810, and now we are getting it as 2700, and the difference is 110, and this difference is due to as we have moved 10 number of units from this F1A1 cell to F1A2 cell, and by moving one unit we would reduce the cost by 11. So that is evident from the table that we have seen earlier. But can we say that this is the optimum solution and the cost which we have got is the minimum? To verify that, we have to apply the stepping stone method one more time, and we have to create the loops one more time. So here are again empty cells which I have recorded over here, and we have to create the loop one more time so that we can verify. So let us create the loop for this cell. So the loop for this particular empty cell is given by this combination. So it will be plus 13 minus 1 plus 14 minus 1. For this cell, the loop will be given by this combination. So plus 36 minus 23 plus 14 minus 1. For this cell, the loop is given by this combination. For this cell, loop is given by this combination. For this cell, loop is given by this combination. For this cell, loop can be obtained something like this. Here loop will be like this. Here loop will be given by this particular combination. If you look at all these values that we have evaluated for the change in cost, all the values are positive, meaning that if you allocate something at this point, the change in the cost will be positive and there will not be any reduction in the total transportation cost. So we can say that the solution, whatever we have got here, is the optimum solution, and the transportation cost which we get with this solution is the minimum transportation cost. So in this way we have evaluated the total transportation cost and optimum solution with the help of stepping stone method.